Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS and the inventor of the CTKS method and BORSOG trading. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin is currently up 3.75% to 23,949. Ethereum is up 9.23% to 1855. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. Yesterday was a pretty negative day. We can see today there's been some gains in the crypto market. In this video, we're going to actually delve deep into the heart of what is driving macro at the moment. Crypto is incredibly volatile, and you can see just how much things can change in 24 hours. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as links to the Crypto Trading KS Masterclass, the tax software I use. You can always reach out and directly message me on Twitter at any time as well, and I've left a link in there for the Crypto Trading KS Partial Scholarship. The CTKS Creed primes our mind for profitability in the crypto market. These are a series of affirmations you can just tell yourself. They put you in the right frame of mind. I know the universe wants me to succeed. Every day I show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. I know opportunities and life reset daily. I am worthy. I go slow to go fast. I start small and scale with BORSOG. Life pullbacks give me strength for the next life rally. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. I just like to let the Coffee Club members know that I released a new video on Rule 673. Choose learning and success will choose you. There's a lot in that particular video, and I go through BORSOG, AnF as well. When you reach out and buy me a coffee each month, just as a sign of my appreciation, I put out a new rule, and you'll see many different rules are there. In fact, there's 13 videos there at the moment. I'd like to thank all the very kind and generous community members who've reached out and bought me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/cryptotradingks. Thank you, Rolo and Vicente. Very nice of you. Edmund and Art. Thanks so much. And you can see the comments on the screen here. They're just beautiful people. And thank you, Boris, from the heart of Europe, Eastern Europe, from Hungary, to a trader with the biggest heart. How lovely. And Art, thank you for being such a kind soul. Checking out your daily updates is a nice recharge for me after a busy day. So beautiful what you say, everyone. I'm just so touched. And thank you, Signs Up. Very generous of you, my friend. And Rundle Rich, thank you. And Jay Bripto, thank you also, my friend. And Signs Up said, love your current video with flight radar and marine traffic. I always really enjoy the way you analyze current world events. And I have a surprise for everyone today as well. I'm going to demystify the CPI. At a time like this, when we have structural uncertainty, Rule 674 is really important. Patience plus AnF against nowhere and for plus positioning equals profit. I'll explain this a little bit more as we go through. The first thing that we can do is look at Bitcoin's price action. We saw all the shorts piling into the market because there was an expectation that the inflation rate would run hot, run really hot. And the shorts came into the market saying, yay, the markets are going to go down. And what happened? The inflation print came down way lower than expected. And that caused a bit of a short squeeze. The shorts were basically covering their positions. When a short gets into the market, they're not like a long. A long, when they get into market, they buy and then sell for a higher price. What the shorts do is they sell first and then they buy back later. Pretty weird, huh? And we can see over the past 24 hours, there's been 322.48 million in liquidations across 63,789 positions. When looking at the past 24 hours, we can see about 60% of total liquidations were short liquidations. Going to the past 12 hours, about 61% short. Going to the past 4 hours, say about 66% short. And the past hour, oh no, it's gone the other way, getting up to around 58% long. And we can see when looking at the longs and the shorts in terms of liquidations, short liquidations have outmatched our gun long liquidations by quite a wide margin. This was exactly the opposite of yesterday. Just keep in mind, I believe that the only thing that happened structurally inside the market was the short said, ouch, I got it wrong. The major thing that happened overnight was the CPI and the CPI core data came out. The CPI data month on month for July, not for August, 1 month back, came in at 0. And that's really good because what we see is the CPI has been going up and then coming down and going up, and it's just flatline right now. And the CPI core, which is this number here, and I'll explain these as we go through, just had a modest increase. The CPI core excludes food and energy. So food and energy, all of this in here is excluded because it's actually categorized as being very, very volatile. So if you take away the volatility, you get the core. Now, what do we notice here? Energy as an area came down 4.6%. That was pretty good, but it's been going out of control. So when you look at a 32.9% increase in energy costs throughout the economy, that's pretty steep. And of course, some things like fuel have actually increased 75.6%, even though they decreased 11% last month. What I've done here is to just create a bit of a pictorial representation of how the core is changing over time and how the total CPI is changing and each specific line item, and also where the CPI is measured from and the core CPI is measured from. This is adjusted data from the US Department of Labor Statistics. I always go to the source. I don't care what mainstream media has to say. I have no interest at all in that. I always go to the source. So what is the CPI? The CPI is the Consumer Price Index. Month on month is a month-to-month change. It estimates the changes in the cost of living from a consumer perspective by showing changes in average prices for a consumer basket of goods and services. We saw that in the previous table. In the given month, compared to the previous month, it is used for evaluating inflation. The index is also used for adjusting wage and social security payments, income tax structures, and the calculation of real GDP. CPI growth indicates an increase in inflation. So what did we see from the CPI? The estimate, the forecast, and the actual were quite different. We expected 0.2% and it came in at 0%. Now this is pretty interesting and it caused a rally inside the market. Basically, the probability was going towards a very hot inflation print. We got the absolute opposite of that. Why did the shorts pile into the market expecting a hot inflation reading? Because when we look at the Fed funds rate, and that's the base interest rate for the economic system, and you can think of interest rates as just the price of money. When the price of money, which is interest rates, when interest rates go up, everything becomes more expensive related to borrowing and servicing debt, and the economy is built on debt. So if interest rates go up, it's more and more expensive for people to do things. What happens when it's more expensive? Because there's only so much money that people have. They have to cut back. And what do we see with the federal funds futures? Oh, it's like a tongue twister. Yesterday, it was 68% probability that the Fed would increase the federal funds rate by 75 basis points. It's now 42.5%. And yesterday, the federal funds rate, the probability of increasing by 50 basis points was 32%, and now it's 57.5. This has caused the shorts to cover. But Why would they cover? Because if the interest rate doesn't increase at the rate people think, if it increases at a lower percentage rate, that's actually better for the economic system because that lowers cost. And revenue less expenses equals profit. And that's what drives most things forward. And you can also think of the interest rate popping into the discount cash flows. And discounted cash flow models drive firm valuations. But there's a little bit of a downside to this. When we get a very hot print on inflation and then it drops suddenly like this and like this, we saw back in 2009, just before the GFC, we had the same kind of concepts, a very high inflation rate and then it dropped. But what happened next? Things dropped. In the GFC, everything dropped. And if we go back to just late 2005, we saw a similar sort of situation where we had a big drop in inflation and then a very negative drop in inflation. We have to actually pay a lot of attention to this. A lot of people aren't talking about this side of the market. And of course, they wouldn't really want to because they want to represent everything as rosy. But the facts are still the facts. The stats are the stats. This is why I brought out Rule 674 today. Patience plus your AnF strategy plus your positioning equals profit. If you know what you're doing, if you run the numbers, you know how the economic system is going to move around, you're in a really, really good position. And you can see just in one day, there are so many gains to be made in crypto, and it just fluctuates just a little bit. I'll show you. When looking at Bitcoin with our AnF strategy that we put in place yesterday, you can see that prices came up largely from shorts getting liquidated and covering their positions. And also, we've noticed that the follow through is not great, but that simple change around is enough to push some cryptos up by large percentages. There's always money to be made in the crypto market. We want to get a bit of a lay of the land, and you might notice there's a line here coming through here, just a slight grey line, and there's another grey line coming through there as well. This is where the VIX did a kind of a blow off bottom, and I believe that's what we saw in yesterday's trading session. Let's get into that. And masterclass students, you'll receive my live chart and an in-depth explanation of all of this in TM6. What did we notice with the fear of the stock market, the VIX? The VIX actually just spiked down, massively spiked down. Last time we had a massive spike down. It wasn't as massive as this one, but we saw a rally. The last time we got to this level, we saw another rally, a drop, and another rally up. What does this mean? It means a lot, actually, and people are not talking too much about the VIX at the moment. What I've specifically done here, I've made a note of the RSI on the VIX, and I've just drawn a line across here, and when it intersects this line, I've just drawn a line up at these different points. The concept is we want to see what happened in the last times that the VIX came down so much that it was so incredibly oversold. And I used to trade the VIX. The VIX is a spiky animal. It tends to come down, absolutely, but it tends to also be very, very spiky. No wonder I love crypto. I love the VIX. VIX, I love you. Anyway, the concept is when the VIX comes down, this means prices in the market are going up because fear is leaving the market. Fear is decreasing. And when things get too over optimistic, the market tends to reverse. And we have to be careful of this because we know price is always moving in a wave. We're not concerned with price moving in a wave because we actually take advantage of that. Let's just backtest and see what happened when the VIX hit these levels, this very, very oversold level. What happened? It did come down a little bit more, so there was a slight bit of rallying around the 25th of March 2022, but then the VIX started to go up. Notice that price is always moving in a wave. It comes down and then it goes up. It comes down, then it goes up. When we look at the VIX, we're interested in what happens to crypto. you can see as the VIX was falling over, running down, just like it was running down recently, prices came up, but when it started to bottom out, price started to peak, and then it started to roll over. And when the VIX does a lot of spikiness, we can expect lower prices. But we know price is always moving in a wave. Just over the past 24 hours, price spiked quite substantially. You don't have to hang around long in the crypto market for really, really good returns. And let's come back to the 21st of October when the VIX hit the similar level. Well, it hit the same level. We saw the VIX coming down and down and down and down and down to the level that it's at now in terms of the RSI being oversold. And then what happened? We saw peaking action in Bitcoin and crypto, a bit of wavering around, and then the VIX shot up and actually brought crypto down with it. So we just have to be a little bit aware of the fact that the VIX is very overextended to the downside. It hasn't done a natural retracement. This kind of fall off and this kind of fall off without a wave up is actually really unhealthy. And if we look back to the 27th of November 2020, this was when the bull market in crypto was absolutely going parabolic. Laser eyes, melting faces, all of those kind of things were out. And what do we see? The VIX came down quite substantially, hit today's level, and then started to spike up. But crypto kept on going up. But when the VIX really spiked, it brought crypto down. When there's a fear-based spike in the market, of course prices will be impacted because optimism leaves. But in a full-on positive sentiment market, you can expect things to recover. We've noticed so much negative sentiment just recently that we have to be a little bit more careful. We have to be a bit more cautious. But there's so many opportunities in the crypto space. We can see the NASDAQ 100 is coming up to a level of resistance. Oil is getting over. And this is really interesting because oil prices have been going down, but it looks like oil itself may start to go up. This is why we look at the charts. And then when we look at bond prices were decreasing below this support/resistance line. It couldn't quite make up its mind. It was more resistance than support just recently, and it's rolled over. And what is this all about? When bond prices actually increase, people take their money out of stocks and crypto and forex and put it into bonds because bonds are seen as a more safe haven flight. And bond prices and bond yields move inversely. And we've noted that bond yields have been coming up a little and they're just wobbling around at the moment. And what about geopolitical risk? Gold. How is gold going? It's trying to get through all of this resistance here. If it manages to do that, it should shoot up. And there's a lot of geopolitical conflict around the world. We'll look at that. A lot of people look at the DXY as kind of like the stock market stablecoin, like Tether USDT or Circle USDC or Binance Coin BUSD. And what did we see? There was a flight into pushing up prices. A lot of confidence was restored into the market in just the last trading session. But there's of course a bit more to this. And we can also see junk bonds actually forming a higher low and then pushing upwards and onwards. One thing that can help, we can keep on looking at the AnF chart. We can see the price momentum is basically positive at the moment. It certainly didn't decay down to this support line, which was on the cards and would be very, very healthy if it did so, but it didn't do so. What we can see is we've now made a higher low and we've also formed a support line. If we lose that support line or things just go flat, and they could go flat, that is part of your N, or just goes nowhere. Your AnF is against you, nowhere, and for you. You're always thinking of your entire portfolio and any specific trade or investment you do from an AnF strategic perspective. If it goes against you, what do you expect? And there's multiple levels of expectations. There's some short term, very short term, some medium term, and some longer term. So just keep that in mind. But at the moment, we kind of have a positive bias, but we're not over resistance yet, but we're sort of getting there. Let's have a look at how the VIX plays in with upward price momentum. We can see the VIX just coming down and down and down, and then just doing, I would say, a blow off bottom. And what do prices do? They're coming up. And we've seen Bitcoin also coming up. But what happens when they reach this point and then they start to go up? What do we see around these times? So for example, when price is moving down, or when the VIX is moving down, prices tend to move down alongside it. When the VIX is moving up, prices tend to move down. When the VIX is moving down, prices are moving up. So just keep your eye on the concept of how the VIX is going to play into the market. It's very, very overextended at the moment. For example, you could look at the VIX this low here. When the VIX started to go up, what happened to price? And when we see the current action, what could happen to price? Please let me know in the comments. This is never a question of just panicking or anything like that. It's all about preparation. We're a BORSOG community, and BORSOG is a definite way to make money in any market structure, but you must be prepared and you must have a plan. Let's have a quick look at the other major indices. We can see that the Nasdaq is pretty much at resistance. The S&P 500 is just a little bit below. We can see it's about 3.33% away. The Dow Jones is just a little bit away from resistance as well. It's currently just 0.74% away from resistance. And the Russell 2000 is doing really well. It's 2.76% away from support. It's overcome resistance and it's away from support. We'll just have to see what happens with the main markets. Just have your AnF strategy fully in place and you'll be fine. And our plan as crypto technical analysts is to scientifically track investor attention, which is measured through price, which is reality. We mark up our charts with the CTKS method. We look to outside trends, we check the VIX, we check inflation, we check everything we can and collect probabilities. Inside the masterclass, you'll see so many things that we check. And if you're a masterclass student or if you're a masterclass graduate, keep on checking those things. Check everything that you can. It will help you to collect probabilities. And then we look back inside the crypto market to find the market's focus. We understand that opportunities reset daily. That was definitely shown in the last trading session. And enhancing your pattern recognition is critical. But before you buy or sell, before you pull the trigger, have mastery of emotional control. Having positive excellence and real wealth puts you on the right path because you can go slow to go fast. So many people want to speed through life. They want to get rich quickly. You can think about the easy come, easy go. It applies to that as well. You want to get rich slowly because you'll keep it and you'll keep on building throughout your life. That's really what it's all about. Life is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Another potential complication in global markets, and I think this is what gold is picking up on, is the potential invasion of Taiwan by China. You can see there's a lot of warplanes hovering around China, hovering around the Taiwan Strait at the moment. But we don't pay much attention to this. We get other news sources because things can get very distorted. We always seek to be smart money and independent of the mainstream media news because the mainstream media news is for retail investors and traders. That's why we go behind the news wherever we can. So what is this flight information telling us? This is Taiwan. This is China. You can see a lot of flights over China, especially around the area that would be required to go to war with Taiwan. And of course, that would pull the US into the war. It would activate the Quad Alliance. It would pull Japan into the war. Goodness knows what it could do. But This is really important to go independent of what is happening, what is being postured in the news from either side. Politics is just an ugly game, an ugly business. And when things get ugly, when countries go to war, we expect to see no flights over the war zone because commercial airliners don't want to get shot out of the sky, and we don't want them to either. The Taiwan Strait, which is this line separating Taiwan from mainland China, is a very, very active and very busy area for vessels. And what we can see right now, and this is live, there is no shortage of traffic going through, marine traffic going through here. So we've got the sea traffic and we've got the air traffic. Both indicate that war is just talk at the moment. Our channel, our community is all about facts, not about theories. We go to the statistics because we don't want to become one. Media headlines can get very sensationalistic, but we can see that's just not the case right here and right now. Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. Looking at total global crypto market cap, it's currently 1.15 trillion, up 6.05% from yesterday. And why is this? Because when Bitcoin comes up, so too does the entire crypto market. But specific cryptos will always over or under exaggerate, and they've all got their own gravitational pull because it depends what's happening inside those projects. Over the past 24 hours, the greatest gainers: Celsius up 31.33%, LDO up 26.46%, Aave 15.5% up, Synthetics 13.5%, Phantom 12.4% up, and GNO 12.3% up. And turning towards the greatest losses in the crypto market over the past 24 hours for the top 100, Leo down 3.43%, and True USD, TUSD is a stablecoin, DAI is a stablecoin, PaxG is the synthetic version of gold in crypto. We can also see Binance USD and USDC, two more stablecoins. What does it mean when stablecoins are amongst the greatest losers? Please let me know in the comments. And we always do active learning inside our community, our global family. Looking at the major cryptos, and what we're especially interested in here is seeing how Bitcoin's gravity alters the flow or the price direction of these major cryptos. We can see Bitcoin coming up into the positive sector of our AnF strategy. And what do we notice about Ethereum? Ethereum is following Bitcoin's gravity. This is really important. If Bitcoin starts to rally, we would expect Ethereum to rally more because that's what Ethereum does. And what about Binance Coin? Of course, it can go the other way. If we see, for example, the major indices and the VIX starting to retrace, well, the VIX spiking up and the major indices starting to retrace, or perhaps there's something going on with China and Taiwan or some other factor. There could be so many other things. And we start to see price coming down. As Bitcoin's price comes up, of course, all the cryptos come up with it. But when it goes down, well, I should say 99% of the cryptos go with it. There's this mythical 1% that go in the opposite direction, and they're the ones we're really interested in. We can see Binance Coin following Bitcoin's gravitational pull, just starting to curl over a little bit at the moment. XRP is a little bit weaker than Bitcoin's gravity at the moment. And Cardano, ADA, is just moving with Bitcoin's gravitational alignment. Sol is a bit weaker, Solana, and Doge, bit weaker as well. DOT is starting to firm up, starting to strengthen up, and just get back into alignment. Uncertainty is something really important to deal with in life, but especially in investing and trading. And Beardy said, in uncertainty, I like to lean on all of the knowledge I've gained throughout the masterclass and the daily videos to stack probabilities in my favor and get on the right side of the percentage. Well done, my friend. And Badger said, I love how you did the AnF analysis on the chart. AnF is the best preparation for dealing with uncertainty. Thank you, my friends. And hi to Corey. Tails had a really good thing to share. Thank you, Ken, for showing us the clear path through the muddy waters. A three-dimensional path, but it's still a clear one. Uncertainty is one of the most difficult things for me and many others I would expect. We all want to be safe, but realistically there are always unknown factors. We all have to learn to accept that there are things beyond our control, and the unexpected may not be a bad thing either. So let's try to embrace uncertainty and rename it to opportunity. And Tails has a fantastic little story in there. Good on you, Tails. And Crypto Turtle said he keeps an eye on the signals before he reacts. The masterclass helps me because it gives me the knowledge that helps me see across the facts of the market. Have a great patience day, classmates. Nice one, Crypto Turtle. And Wabi Sabi's share, uncertainty is about the unknown, so we can overcome it by focusing on the things we do know. We can't control the unknown, but we can control what we do know and how we approach the knowns. Worry about the things you can control and don't worry about the things you cannot control. Very wise words, my friends. And this takes acceptance. Accepting that you may be wrong or that things don't go always in your favor. That's just like life. Not everything goes in our favor, and many times when it doesn't, we're actually receiving a blessing, not a setback, a setup. And Flamingo said, there is uncertainty in almost everything. It's a part of life. So fortune favors the bold. We just need to know what level of boldness we are comfortable with in our unique situations. Thanks so much, Flamingo. There are so many fantastic comments, it's well worth reading them. We have just an incredible global family. I have a fresh 8 top community picks, and of course I don't endorse any of these particular cryptos. Always do your own research, it's very important to do, and you must make your own decisions. Let's have a look at synthetics. Synthetics is a very, very strong crypto. You can see it diverging from Bitcoin's gravity. It was under, it was weaker, then it became stronger. And we'll see it just come back to alignment in time. And what do we see with EGLD? EGLD is just going with Bitcoin's gravitational pull. Some variations in there. Very, very interesting stuff. EGLD is quite strong as a project. Moon River, we can see Mover is moving, definitely. It likes to move it. What about AVAX? Following Bitcoin's gravitational pull, starting to get a bit stronger. CRV is stronger than Bitcoin. Note how it was weaker, now it's become stronger. We can see the same thing with Flux. It was weaker, and it's still a bit weaker actually than Bitcoin's gravity, but it's starting to try to get above that. We'll have to see. Maybe it's just coming back into synchronization with it. And Rare used to be weaker than Bitcoin's gravity, but now it's stronger. The weak become strong, the strong become weak. Keep your eye on that concept. And Matic is incredibly strong. Look at this. It's just romping away, and it's encountering quite a level of selling resistance right here. If it manages to break through that and Bitcoin is positive in its directional movement, that could be very, very interesting to watch. Just as a very quick poll, I thought what we might do for the community comments is just, what do you expect Bitcoin to do, to go either up or down in the next 24 hours from this particular point we're at now? I've just drawn a line in there so we can compare in the next 24 hours. Do you think Bitcoin will go up from this line or down from this line? All you need to do, if you're new to the community, a very, very big welcome to you. And you might just want to say up or down as a comment. It's really good to do this active style of learning. It can make all the difference in the world. And I think many people will be getting on this retail emotional bandwagon. Let's talk a little bit about fear of missing out as well, and what strategies you use to combat it. Smart money does not have FOMO. They're unemotional. They do the hard work, they put in the dedication, and they know how things work. And they're always exercising patience and just waiting for the right opportunities. They don't have to be in every opportunity, they just need to be in the right ones. And if you had to pick one of these little guys here, which one would you pick? Do you think we're in hope or optimism or thrill or euphoria or anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation? Please let me know. That's also a really good thing. And you can look around and see what other people feel. You'll find that people feel all sorts of different things. And if you're feeling like this little guy up here, you may just look at these and say, how is the retail mindset thinking at the moment? That would be a better question. How is the retail market thinking about crypto and the stock market right now? Please just put the word down for the particular. If it's optimism, just put optimism down. If you think it's thrill or euphoria or hope or whatever it is that you feel, just pop that down in the comments. I think that's going to be really, really interesting. And also the strategy for avoiding emotion in the market. Emotion costs you in the market. It's not your friend. Thank you for tuning in. I love sharing this time together. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and to the CTKS ambassadors for assisting masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the tax software I use and the Crypto Trading KS Masterclass. Please seek out an ambassador to get 80% off, and there's also a scholarship program if you're undergoing financial hardship. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.